I have been muted and having the best time talking to myself. I am so sorry, y'all. What have I done? Oh, I have just had the best time. I'm glad y'all stayed with me. Oh my gosh, I was talking about how the days just blend together. Because I said Happy Tuesday, and I was thinking, is this Tuesday? But it is. I'm glad. Happy Tuesday. Oh man, I was thinking in the shower, because I did take a shower this morning. That's another thing you got to remember to do. Don't forget to take a shower. Ooh, sound's not on. Thank you, Q. Well, it's on now, isn't it? All right. What's that on the left? I don't know what you mean, ionic shock. What's that on the left? Anyway, they all blend together. Gosh, I get so distracted. And sometimes you forget to take showers. You forget to do a lot of things. But I was in the shower this morning. You'll be happy to know. I guess we have sound now. Thank you. And I started singing this song. No, never alone. No, never alone. He promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. No, never alone. No, never alone. He promised never to leave me, never to leave me alone. Did you ever sing that one? Sing it with me. No, never alone. No, never alone. He promised never to leave me. Is that your favorite song, Judy Baldwin Nail? Never to leave me alone. Maybe the Lord gave it to me in the shower this morning for you. I guess I shouldn't talk about the shower so much, but that's where, that is where I do most of my praying, which means I need to go in there every day. I don't always make it. I have not been showering like I should during this, whatever this is, this pandemic. Hello, Daniel John. Amen. I was just listening to Michael English singing, Yvonne Anderson says. Watching. Hello, Terry Lynn Hargrove. How are you? Watching from Arkansas. I'm so glad you all tuned in. I guess you're like me. You have nothing else to do you? You probably do. In fact, let me just tell you, I went online today before this thing because I thought, if I'm going to visit with y'all every day, I don't always have anything to talk about, but I want to make sure you're okay, and I hope you are, and I'm praying for all of you that watch me and even those that don't. But I went on, I found 13 ways, and this is from insider.com. I put the link in the show notes, but listen to this. 13 ways to pass the time and give back during the coronavirus pandemic. All right? Now, this is good. Something to do. Number one, let me clear my throat. You can make face masks. Dina always makes fun of me because I pronounce every syllable. Masks. You can make face masks for healthcare work providers. That's a great idea. And the link is below to tell you where to go, because think fabric stores like Joann Fabrics and Cotton Candy Fabrics in Connecticut are offering free mask making kits to customers. So that's good. And you might have one around here. And then the next one was you can learn Charlie D'Amelio's distance dance, which is, I haven't seen it. It's on TikTok. It's the biggest thing on TikTok, but I don't have TikTok. But I hear it's hysterical to have TikTok. Dina loves TikTok. Excuse my sinuses. Oh, gosh, I should have muted that. If there's ever a time we didn't need the sound on, it was right then. But anyway, you can go learn that dance. And if you're able to donate blood, this is a great way to help out. That's another suggestion. And you can clean out your cabinets and donate any food you don't need. Now, that doesn't mean any food that's expired. You throw that away. But any food that you're not going to eat, donate it to Meals on Wheels. And you can virtually, here's a great idea. You can virtually, means like through your computer, you can virtually tutor students. You know what? My body makes all kinds of noises I do not give it permission to make. And this mic picks up everything. Okay, anyway, you can tutor students. That would be fun. Okay, here's a good one, and here's an art that has been lost. You can write letters to people living in nursing homes. That would be nice. Let's see, what's another idea during these boring pandemic days? You can foster a pet. Fostering a pet will keep you entertained and help shelters in need. Foster a pet. That's a great idea. What's next? Celebrities can read your kids' stories for a cause. Jennifer Garner and Amy Adams recently launched hashtag Save with Stories, an initiative where they read stories on Instagram for kids who are now schooling remotely to watch. Your kids can enjoy the stories. That's another thing. I love this idea. You can order meals for healthcare workers and first responders. Food delivery services are still operating in most cities, it says, so you can take advantage of those services by sending food to healthcare workers. That'd be a great idea. You can train to be a crisis counselor and help those facing mental health issues. That would be good if you have that kind of patience. If you have neighbors who are first responders or healthcare providers, you can offer to babysit their kids. Okay, let's see what else we can do. I'm kidding, I love kids. You know I love kids, right? There's a children's boot design competition raising money for a food drive in Texas. Oh, that's cool. Go look at the boot design competition raising money for a food drive. Anyway, there's 13 different things. You can take digital makeup classes to help freelancers maintain their incomes. And that was 13, I guess. What kind of ideas have you got? What are you doing to keep yourself busy during this pandemic time? Let me see what you're saying over here. Michael Turner said, yikes. I guess he didn't want to babysit kids either. Write letters to peeps in the military. That's a good idea, Mary Young. I like that. I'm crocheting baskets to donate when it's safe. Janet P. Is that Janet Pascal? Shelby, prayers, write what? Prayers, let me see if I can read the prayers, write notes to your church members. Sing to the children over the phone. Wow, that's interesting. Anyway, I got a frog in my throat. It's not Corona. Tammy Denny last night was watching and she called our trio the Corona Trio. That is a great name for our group. The Corona Trio. I love that. She is so funny. Tammy Denny. Okay, let's see what else you're saying. And then we're going to sing a little together. Try to teach kids online. Go to cemeteries for a history lesson. Go to old cemeteries for a history lesson. What kind of lessons would you learn? Oh, I guess you could see that is fun to walk around, look at the dates, especially the real old ones. Think how long they've been dead, longer than they were alive. So many people. Well, most people really. We'll all be dead longer than we were alive. Well, not if we know Jesus. I hear you. Oh, no, Mark. But you know what I mean. This body, if the Lord tarries, is going to go to dust. That's the reason I used to always tease my mom. She said, you will not cremate me. And she said this, my mother, I love my mother, but she said this, and she's gone now, so we can talk about her. She said, do not cremate me, because I always told her, we got to cremate you because we're going to put you in an urn and bring you out at Christmas and New Year's and, birthdays so you don't miss anything. She said, I won't be there. I'll be with the Lord. Don't you cremate me, because then, how did she say it? It cracked me up. He'll have a hard time resurrecting me if you cremation will make it harder for the Lord to put you back together on resurrection morning. Oh my gosh, I said, Mama, Adam and Eve have been in so many different trees by now, decaying, coming back as a plant, and whatever the chemicals of your body will do as it decays. Who knows? I said, the Lord can bring back whatever the Lord decides to bring back. He's making all things new, so it looks like he's going to bring everything back. He said, I'm making all things new. Okay, let's see what else we got going on down here. Our kids ministry takes turns reading bedtime story to the kids on Facebook Live. That's a great idea. Let's see. Favorite tomb. Oh wait, here's one. Here's this favorite tombstone in Marion, Ohio. I've come to the river and I see both sides. Oh, what glory. Oh, what a gospel. Ooh. I've come to the river and I've seen both sides. Wow, that's good. What's a good tombstone? What do you want on your tombstone? My friends say they're going to put on my tombstone, this is the best grave I've ever been in. Because we were sitting around one night talking about what we were going to put on each other's tombstones. And the only one we really, and by the way, this is Nespresso. Someone was asking, what am I drinking? I've got a Nespresso machine. And so now I drink coffee black because the Nespresso has like a little foam on top of it that kind of seems like milk, but it's not. But we were sitting around saying, what are we going to put on each other's tombstones? We couldn't think of one for Dina, and I don't think we came up with one for Bubba, but we looked at Colleen and said, we know what we're putting on her tombstone, because no matter where she is, at every restaurant, when we could go to restaurants, remember those days? When we could actually go to a restaurant. Anyway, she orders extra this, extra this, extra that, extra sour cream, extra guacamole, extra cheese, extra. So we're going to put on her tombstone, extra dirt, please. We thought that'd be funny. But mine's going to be, this is the best grave. Because they say, and I didn't even notice I did this until they all pointed it out. But every meal, this is the best I've ever had. And at that moment, I promise you, I believe it. It's not like I'm just saying this. Because, it's just the best. I don't think that's such a bad way to be. I do love food. I love food. I admit it. I love food. I love it. I love everything about it. I love the taste. I love the way it fills you up. I love it. Well, anyway, what are we going to do? Let's sing something. Hold on. Let me get my notes. These are songs y'all have requested over the days and years we've been doing this. When I think of how he came far from glory, came and dwelt among the lowly, such as I, to suffer shame and such disgrace. On Mount Calvary take my place, and I am reminded of these words. I forgot the word. Who am I? And I got it too high. Who am I that a king would bleed and die for? Who am I that he would pray, not my will, thine, Lord. The answer I may never know, why he ever loved me so, that to an old rugged cross he'd go. For who am I? Well, that's one you requested. Let's see if you're requesting anything right now. Thank you for singing. You made our day. Oh, thank you, Amy. That's nice of you. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know. Everybody ought to know who Jesus is. I hadn't thought of that one in years. Everybody ought to tell. Everybody ought to tell. Everybody ought to tell who Jesus is. Why am I getting everything so high today? He's the lily of the valley. He's the bright and morning star. Boom, boom, boom. He's the fairest of 10,000. Everybody ought to know. Is that the one you were talking about? Okay. Oh, here's one request from Matthew. For just a glimpse of you. Matthew, thank you. I wrote this. Let me tell you. I wrote this after I thought I had really, really blown it with God. And I was feeling so wrong and sad and felt shame, which is never from God. He will convict you, but he will never shame you. And there's a difference. But I went back to my hotel room where I was staying, and I wrote this. And it's the one that you requested, Matthew Brian King. Take all the days of all the years and lay them at my feet. I'd choose from them a life that's full of victory and no defeat. I'd weave in days of sunshine from cradle to the grave. I'd color them with rainbows, then give them all away for just a glimpse of you. Lord, let me see your brow that wore my crown, your side that bled for me. Let me look into your eyes and watch my dreams come true. I'd still trade 1,000,000 lifetimes for just a glimpse of you. And that's all I remember. Well, I did. See the second verse. Take every dream I've ever dreamed that ever has come true. Take all my days without a care, the ones with laughter too. This world with all its beauty, the mountains grand and tall, this earth with all its wonder, I'd gladly give it all for just a glimpse of you. Lord, because I knew if I could see him, I would see forgiveness, I would see mercy, I would see grace, because that's all you're going to see when you look at Jesus. He is the epitome he is God on foot. He is the Father in the flesh. He and the Father are one. If you're scared of the Father, well, you're wrong, because Jesus is the Father. and the Son. Jesus is the perfect picture of God. And look how kind he was to everybody except the Pharisees. Woo, he didn't have much use for them. Well, he did. He loved them. He gave them grace, He said, this harlot will enter the kingdom of heaven before you. I love that word before, because it means you still get to come, but she's going to lead the parade because she's been forgiven so much. She is ready to dance and glorify God, and you have been forgiven so little. You need to be in the back because you're not going to make much noise when you get home, But you get to come. But the harlot that's been forgiven, the ADHD kid who's been forgiven, the one who knows how much he's been forgiven and how loved he is by God, then you are too. If you're a Pharisee. And Jesus spoke hard to him, trying to get him, read it in the end of Matthew, I think Matthew 23, somewhere back there. He said, you're polished on the outside, but inside you're full of dead men's bones. You go clear around the world making disciples, and you make them twice as fit for hell as yourself. Can you imagine? Jesus said that to you. You take God's law, which should be a banquet for all to come and feast on, and you bundle it into rules, and you load them down like pack animals, and you don't lift a finger to help them up when they fall beneath the load. That's what Jesus said to them. Think about how many preachers have taken God's law, which should be a banquet. God's mercy and grace should be a banquet, a buffet for all to come and feast, and yet they want to bundle it into rules, and load you down like pack animals till you fall so far you can't get up, and then they don't lift a finger to help you up. Run from those wolves in sheep's clothing. Find you somebody like Jesus who's going to give you mercy and grace. And like Jesus. Who is Jesus? Jesus. Go to Jesus. He's the one. Lord, sometimes I ramble and don't know when to quit. What are y'all saying? Hello from Illinois. Hello, Gene Kitchens. That's a good one. Daniel John wants to sing. Since Jesus came into my heart, since Jesus came into my heart, floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. Let me get it in a better key. What a joy has been wrought. Da, 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 da. I forgot the words. Can't believe it. You stumped me, Daniel John. Since Jesus came into my heart, I have ceased from my wandering and going astray on most days. Since Jesus came into my heart, sing it now. Since Jesus came into my heart, since Jesus came into my heart, floods of joy o'er my soul like the sea billows roll. Since Jesus came into my heart. Ba-doo-boo-boo. Jesus did not pull any punches. He spoke with full-blown truth. Kathy Bell Lackey, you're right. But boy, he was so kind and merciful to those that knew they needed it. Those that hadn't deceived themselves. Because pride will do that. Pride, ooh. God hates it. God even hates a proud look. He said that in the Bible somewhere. He hates a proud look. So you can't, if you even look proud, he didn't like it. So, anyway. Would you take a worship song would you tape a worship song for my Easter service? Well, you know what? You can take anything off YouTube and put it up there. It'd be better than me trying to. All this is off the cuff and impromptu. And that's the reason why I don't mind doing it every day, because it's just I get in here and just start talking and reading what y'all are saying. Thank you, Pastor Mark. You know what? I've never been called to preach. God, there are too many people preaching already who've never been called. We don't need another one. But we're all called, really, to go and tell. We don't need a call when we got a command. The command is to go into all the world and preach the gospel. I guess we're all preachers, huh? Kind of. But I don't want to be a pastor of a church, or I don't like people that much. I'm kidding. I do like most people, actually. For your yoke, thankfully our yoke is made light. I do love that Jeanne McClellan, maybe. Jesus did say, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden. In the Message, he says, are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me, work with me, watch how I do it. I love this line. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I'll not put anything too heavy or ill-fitting on you. Did you hear that? Jesus said, I'll not put anything too heavy or ill-fitting on you. You know, if your pastor is trying to put something that's too heavy or ill-fitting on you, you need to look and see if Jesus was for that or not. I'll not put anything too heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. And that is from the Message Bible. Matthew, somewhere in Matthew, like 9 maybe, or I don't know. It's in there though. And let's see. Oh, thank you, Rebecca Harris. That's sweet. You bless my mornings. Will you bless my mornings too? I enjoy. How long have I been talking to y'all? Just rambling on. 28 minutes. If you get bored, you can always shut her off. Okay, let's see what you're saying. Hey, Mark, please tell my favorite story. Well, Dana King Jowers, how in the world am I supposed to know your favorite story? I'm just a sinner saved by grace. When I stood condemned to death, he took my place. Now I grow and breathe in freedom with each step of life I take. I'm loved and forgiven. I'm part of the living, I think. I'm just a sinner saved by grace. I think that's how that goes. Oh, thank you, David Howell. I'm enjoying this. Priscilla Rogers said amen. Thank you, Priscilla Rogers. We are Walk Around Me, Jesus. You know what? That's one I don't know. I know of it, but I don't know it well. We didn't sing that in our Baptist church. For some reason, I don't know why. Oh, let's see what else. Tell the story when you were with Andy Andrews on that one. I don't remember what you're talking about. What story with Andy Andrews? Oh, thank you, Robin McCambridge Carr. Oh, I can't sing What a Wonderful World, Donna, because the copyright. Oh, they will shut me down. That one's so copyrighted. And so I can't sing it. I got nailed when I sang it one time. In other words, they just shut your thing down. What do you use for reverb? Well, it's on this. Here, I'll show you. It's on this. Hold on. Let me turn this camera on. It's this. Look, my iPhone becomes the second camera. Watch. And then I click up here on the screen. And look. There's where I see you right here and all the songs and stuff I'm reading. And then over here is the soundboard. And right here is the reverb button. When I turn it on, I have reverb. And then when I turn it off, I can talk, but sometimes I forget to turn it off and keep talking, and I have reverb while I'm talking. Anyway, so that's how that works. And then I just click there, and I'm back with you. Okay, any more questions about that? Oh, Bradley Shuck, you have called one of my favorite ones. Now, y'all got to sing it with me. No one ever cared for me. Harmony, everybody. Like Jesus. There's no other friend as kind as he. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me. Oh, how much he cares for me. Oh, Anna Marie Thomas was singing harmony, she says. Good, I'm glad to hear that. I'll turn the reverb off. Oh, my goodness, D&T Heart Soul, I'm your favorite gospel singer. Oh, you know what? I appreciate that. That's so nice of you. Harmonize, Hannah was harmonizing. Mark, where's Michael? Michael who? Hold on. I don't know. Where's Michael English? Or Michael Booth? We are sounding amazing in upstate New York. All right, Ronnie Piedmont. I met her in when we went to New York City for Carnegie Hall. Excuse me, I'm going to mute this for a minute and snort. Hold on. Now, aren't y'all glad I muted that? Well, it's just us. It ain't like this is on NBC or nothing. There's only 1,342 of you watching right now. It's just us. And don't go around repeating everything I said, too. Because I don't, I never claim to know anything about nothing. But if you... Oh, here's a good one. Well, would you be free from your burden of sin? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would your evil a victory win? There's wonderful power in the blood. Sing, there is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Keep singing, Chris Ladd. Would you live daily his praises to sing? There's power in the blood, power in the blood. Would your evil victory win? There's wonderful power in the blood. Everybody sing now. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the blood of the Lamb. There is power, power, wonder-working power in the precious blood of the Lamb. Oh, Karen Schneider, you have picked a doozy. And I don't know if I can remember it. Does Jesus care? When I've said goodbye to the dearest on earth to me, when my sad heart aches till it nearly breaks, is it felt by him? Does he see? Oh, yes, he cares. I know he cares. His heart is touched with my grief. When the days are weary, the cold night dreary, I know my Savior cares. Boy, that's a pretty song. I don't know why that verse came to my head, but that's the only one I remembered. Well, hallelujah. Amen, Yvonne Anderson. I agree with you. Isn't God good to us? We're in the middle of a pandemic, but we're alive. We're all breathing. We're all above the ground. And when we're not above the ground, we'll be kicking up gold dust. We'll be in the presence of the King. No longer will be looking through a glass darkly. No longer getting glimpses of glory. Oh, do you ever? Sometimes it feels like the Lord pulls the curtain back and you get a glimpse, but as soon as he does, it's gone again, you know? But if you can remember I remember what Stan Mitchell said one time, remember in the dark what you learned in the light. You know, when you're having your MRI, let blessed assurance. That came to my mind when I had my MRI and I started panicking. Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste. Now, do you know what that word means? Foretaste? It's like, you know, Hansel and Gretel, wasn't it? When the little pieces of cake along the journey to help them find the house. I don't know if that's the right story, but that's a good analogy, I think. Those little pieces of, I call them little diamonds on the journey that keep me moving in the right direction, you know. Like I'll be reading the Bible and something will jump out at me that I've never seen before, and I can't wait to get on here and tell you all about it or write about it or do something about it. And one of them, I'll tell you, was that story of the blind man that got kicked out of the church because he was healed on a Saturday by Jesus. And when Jesus heard, the very next verse says, and when Jesus heard, he had been kicked out. Oh man, that jumped out at me. It's like a neon light went off. When Jesus heard, he'd been kicked out. See, the blind guy he never saw Jesus. Jesus said, go wash in the pool of Siloam. And so he's blind all the way to the pool. And when he gets to the pool, he washes his eyes and he can see. He goes back home. Everybody says, what happened to you? You can see. And he said, yeah, Jesus did this. He never saw Jesus, but he heard him and he knew who did it because he was, you know, just because you're blind doesn't mean you can't hear. And he heard his voice. And so anyway, when Jesus heard he'd been kicked out of church, which was the synagogue back then, but their church, whatever. Anyway, it says he came to him, Jesus. When he heard he'd been kicked out, Jesus came to him. And I thought, you know, Jesus might never shown up if he hadn't been kicked out. Sometimes you got to get kicked out of church before Jesus will show up. Maybe. Anyway, I love that. I don't even know why I got off on all that. Oh, when the trumpet of the Lord shall sound and time shall be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair, when the saved of earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. Sing. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. That was for you. Oh, yes, I will. Where's Michael English? Okay, that's who you're talking about. I had Michael English as a guest. You guys can talk and I would never get enough, like the old videos used to be on the TV. Well, you know, Michael was on my Mondays with Mark earlier on. I've been doing it forever, it seems like, but I've loved it. And I'm enjoying these. I may keep this going even after the corona, but I probably won't because I won't be able to. I'll be busy. Right now, none of us are really that busy, are we? But if Michael wants to Skype in, he's got my number. Be honest with you, he doesn't return phone calls. So nobody gets their feelings hurt. He hates the phone. I have been literally with him at his house, and the phone will ring, and he'll shiver like someone walked on his grave or something. He hates the phone, so nobody bothers calling him. But when he needs you, he'll call you. I do love him. What a day that will be When my Jesus I shall see. Yeah, Millie, that's a good one. When I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace, when he takes me by the hand and leads me through the promised land. Oh, what a day, glorious day that will be. That's a good one, Millie Matthews. I love that one. I don't know if it's true or not, but I hear that's what Glenn Payne was singing when he passed. And I heard he got to that line, he was raising his hands, when he takes me by the hand, and he died. But I don't know if that's just made up. If anybody knows for sure, let me know, but that's what I heard. And I don't even remember where I heard it. I could have dreamed it up, because it'd be a great story if it had happened. And I hope it did. I got a mansion. Sidney Lohman wants this. Oh, no, he didn't. He wants, wait, what microphone do you use? Wait, that's not the one wait. I've got a mansion. There you are, Sidney. Just over the hilltop, in that bright land where, sing, we'll never grow old. And someday yonder, and someday yonder, we will never more wander. We will never more wander, but walk on streets that are pure as gold. Now, just to prove I don't know every song in the world in the hymnal, I've never heard Jesus Bids Us Shine. Northernmost Snaps would request that, but I don't know it. And here's another one. Lift Jesus Higher. Gloria Price wanted that one. I don't know it. Lift Jesus Higher. Maybe if I heard it, it would come to me. Well, y'all, keep washing your hands. Are you listening to me? Wash your hands. Stay home. Use Shipt, and I'm not sponsored by Shipt, but I really highly recommend it. SHIPT. It's in your app store, and for $99, I paid for it myself. $99 a year. They will deliver your groceries, your CVS, they do all that, and you don't need to be getting out, y'all. We got to lower this curve, and all of us 60 and up need to stay home. You hear me? I haven't been out of the house in 15 days. That's not true. Lord, forgive me for lying right here in front of God and everybody. I have too. I've been to Kroger. Excuse me. I've been to Kroger, but that was before it really got bad. Now I've Shipt. The last bit of groceries I had was from Shipt, and I highly recommend it or something. And I'll see you tomorrow. Wash your hands. All right? Stay inside. And all you got to do is stay inside. It's not like we're asking you to go to Normandy. Just get in the lazy boy and don't move until we tell you when.